Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. And I want to continue talking about hobby stuff from yesterday because I've got some good comments and I like when I get good comments. And it's all thanks to you guys. But I got two comments that really made me think on this video. One was from, why does it keep going to the, stop. I'll get there, I promise. This thing is weird sometimes. Okay. So, Fearsome Warrior was talking about maybe not doing hobbies is a good place, and you can pace yourself for when your interests peak again. And I think that is a really good perspective because he or she, honestly not sure, I'm assuming it's a he, said, leatherworking, woodworking, switch games, all that sort of stuff. There's lots of other things on top of wanting to be a woodworker. And so, we share a similarity in the respect that we don't really have, nothing holds that interest all the time. And I think that's kind of where I was coming from yesterday. Jonathan mentioned, the other comment was that Jonathan was mentioning this being a hobby. This is absolutely a hobby. Like, this is my diary, but it's also my hobby to make these videos and to talk to you about it and to share my feelings, that sort of stuff. That is a hobby. Regardless of whether it makes me a tiny amount of money. I think last year this made me about $200, a little like less than $250 last year earned from this. So is it a hobby? Yeah, it's still just a hobby. And honestly, like if it wasn't a hobby, I would have given up years ago. Like were the intention to still be pursuing this as a potential, source of income or as a potential career, I would have given up years ago because it's never going to turn into that from this. I mean, there's a potential that I could do other videos or other formats or other things and turn that into a career. But my diary, my daily shed, this is what it is. This is all it's ever going to be. And so I could have given up on it long ago, but obviously it's held my interest. Obviously it's been something that I'm passionate about for the last almost 7 years. We're coming up on 7 years. And so I do get enjoyment out of this. But I think I wanted to dial back to Fearsome Warrior's topic about interest because I think that's the real thing. I think that I'm not a person who holds a singular interest. I've known a lot of people in my life who have. I have a guy that I work with currently, a friend at work, who, video games are his everything. I mean, him and his wife go to, theater shows and stuff, but video games, if he's going to open his mouth and say something that is not work-related, 100% chance it's going to be about video games. That is his everything. He just loves video games, and he's really good at them, and that's just his passion. And while I play video games and I call myself a gamer, I'm not at that level, right? I just enjoy them from time to time. I haven't picked my Switch up in a couple of months now. I got new games to play, I haven't played them. I will, eventually, but I'm just not there right now. Previous jobs, I've known a couple of different people now who were just super passionate about fishing. Fishing was all they thought about all day long, even at work, couldn't wait to get home to go fishing. And it was their identity, I'm a fisherman. That's what I do when I'm not doing my job. And I've never had anything like that. This is the closest. This 7-year stint of posting my diary is the closest I've ever had for something like that. I've been a fisherman. I'm still consider myself a fisherman. I still know how to fish and I still enjoy it, even though I haven't done it in probably 5, 6, 7 years. I would still consider myself a hunter. I haven't hunted in at least a decade. Woodworker. I consider myself a woodworker, even though I glued some boards together. Yeah, I made a thing recently, but this isn't my identity. I don't have an interest that holds my attention full time. And I've always thought that was something wrong with me. We've had that discussion too in the past. I thought that nothing could hold my interest, and that's a problem, because I do see people who are able to hold an interest for years and years. They hold an interest so long that that becomes who they are. I am X the fisherman. You know, still don't do it as a job, but that's their entire thing when they're not working. I've never found that thing. I've never had a passion last that long. I've never had an interest last that long. I'll have interests come and go. Woodworking would be one of those. I've been making stuff out of wood since I was like literally in diapers. You know, my dad always had spare wood around, and I made things. So I've been building stuff since I was a child. I've been playing board games since I was a child. I've been playing computer games since I was an early teenager, like a child. No, a child. I had an Atari when my cousin died, so 6 or 7. So I have had things that have held a long-term interest, but they're not my thing. You know, they're not. I guess most of you probably know me from board gaming, and so you would assume that board gaming is my thing. And while it is a thing that I love to do and I identify with board gamers, it's not the thing that I think about nonstop. It's not the thing that drives me. I don't have that thing. That's what I was trying to get at yesterday. I don't have the thing that I'm just constantly wanting to do. That interest shifts and it wanes and waxes, and for a very few select things, like the board games, like the fishing, or like woodworking, it's something that there'll be times when that's all I want to do. I'll get an idea to do something, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to do it. Or writing even. There's times when I just have to write something, and so I'll write. But usually it's a project that I get excited about, not the I guess the broader hobby itself. Usually it's an aspect of something. So for instance, I'm going to build the new workbench. I want to mortise and tenon the 4x4 posts, the 4x4 stretchers into the 4x4 legs. Never really tried anything like that on that scale. I have done mortise and tenon on smaller scales. It's the same thing, but I'm excited about that. And so I'll get excited for that project and I'll do it. Or like the K-cup holder. I had an idea, I wanted to do it, I just did it. And that was exciting. It wasn't necessarily the woodworking that was the excitement for me. It was that project. I have a project that I have to complete by November. And it's been something that I've been slowly collecting pieces of the project. There are things that I need to create first before I can work on the actual project. And I'm very excited for it, but I'm also pacing myself out, just like Fearsome Warrior said, where if the let the interest drive me, that means that I get the benefit of being excited about it when I need to be excited about it, when it's time to work on it. And I'm not identifying or choosing to identify as whatever that is. I'm that thing, and that's all I can be. I tend to let my interests grab me, and then I go with it until something else grabs me. I guess that's what I was really trying to say yesterday. I don't have a focused hobby. I have hobbies. I have things that I do for relaxation, as Jonathan put. He quoted the definition of a hobby, which is, what did he put? An activity or interest pursued for pleasure or relaxation is not as a main occupation. I have those. I do, to be honest, but I don't have that one. Do you have one? Maybe that's what I was trying to get. Do you have like that hobby that you identify with? This is my thing. Curious. I've always been under the impression that lots of people do, but I think I've come to the realization that very few people actually have, like, that's my hobby. I do that thing. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know that sounds smart is precarious. It is an adjective meaning tenuous, positioned so as to be in danger of falling, and unsecured. Existence is no more than the precarious attainment of relevance in an intensely mobile flux of past, present, and future. Susan Sontag, an American literary theorist, philosopher, and political activist. Precarious, Precarious. I love teaching how to spell words wrong. That's the wrong way to end the show.